Hello, and welcome to the Assassin's Creed Protagonist Ranked. This is going to be a list updated for 2021 after playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and playing the first DLC, Wrath of the Druids. So not all of the Valhalla experience is out yet because we still have more expansions to come, such as the Siege of Paris, and then more upcoming expansions that were announced at E3/Ubisoft Forward this summer, which are supposed to be coming out next year. But with that said, every other game is obviously complete, so we're able to fully rank those protagonists without having any strings attached. So coming in at last place, which is 11th place, is Cassandra/Alexis. And the reason why is because I like Cassandra's voice actress. I don't like Alexis's voice actor, but their characters are not good. They're written really poorly. They are not really cohesive to where, like, it's one story. It's obviously make your own choices, and it just doesn't fit together very well to where you can murder somebody, and then the next second you can act like you are a person of justice, which you're supposed to be, but like I said, you can play however you want because you have those choices open to you. So they're really not much of a character. They're basically just a shell to where you insert your own character based upon what you want to choose, which is why they are in last place. Next, we have Jacob. Jacob is obviously one of the Fry twins, and I don't really like his character. I think he is too, I guess, not humorous, but he goofs off a lot and he doesn't really take things seriously, and his character could have been written a lot better. Syndicate is one of the weakest of the franchise in my opinion, and Jacob is the weaker of the two protagonists, which is why I have him in 10th place. Now, 9th place, we have Arnold, because Arnold, he's an okay character. He's not necessarily bad, but he doesn't have anything really good going for him in terms of his character. His voice actor is really good, but his character, like I said, the story, the plot development is just not very good with his character and where it takes him. Because these protagonists, yes, the protagonists are the people themselves and their voice actors, but it also is very intertwined with the story of each of these games to where it creates those protagonists to be who they are, which is why Arno's low, because his story is just not that great in my opinion, and that's why he's low. Now next we have Shay, and Shay, he is a pretty good protagonist in my opinion. He is obviously Assassin turned Templar, which is a decent story. The game Rogue is an okay game. It's not really horrible, but it's not that good either. I do think Unity is definitely a better game than Rogue, personally, but I think Shay is a better character just because his story is more developed than Arno's, in my opinion. I think his story has a whole lot more going on with it, like physically, I guess, to where he changes things and he changes the colonies. But in terms of Arno, he doesn't really do much at all in terms of the French Revolution and in terms of really the assassins of Paris. So that is why Shay is above Arno. Next, we have Evie. And I have Evie in this position because, like I said, Syndicate is, in my opinion, one of the weaker games. And so Evie is not that amazing of a character. She's definitely the better of the Fry twins, hands down. But she just doesn't have too many good things going for her. I think she is definitely better utilized than Jacob, and I think she could have been even better utilized if it was just her by herself. And it sucks that you don't really play as her that much in the game, which I find kind of dumb, but I mean, it's just how it is, and there's nothing we can do to fix that because it is an older game, at least compared to the year 2021. So that is why she is in 7th place. And next up, we have Aver. And the reason I have Aver here is because Aver does have the same character type, I guess, as Cassandra and Alexis, to where you can choose the gender, but it doesn't really do anything in terms of the story. So it's not as much of an empty shell as what Cassandra and Alexis are, because the story is still the same regardless of what you choose. And there's not really any like crazy options that will drastically change your experience in the game to where you can kill off certain people like in Odyssey. You can't really do that in this game. You can to a certain extent, but not really any super major characters that I'm thinking of. But there is like a couple of choices that are big, but not really life-threatening, I guess. But I have Aver here because I like Aver's voice actor and actress and the other reasons that I just stated. And I think that the game Valhalla is just a better game than some of the games that are in this list. So, yeah. Next up, we have Connor coming in 5th place, and I have Connor here because Connor is an okay protagonist. He's definitely not bad. He's pretty good in my opinion, at least in terms of like the Forsaken novel and his speech that is actually in Assassin's Creed 3, but I believe it's cut from the game, and also doing the homestead missions develops his character more than the actual main story, so you do have to do that more in order to get more of Connor's character and his development and growth. Because a lot of people look at Connor and they say, oh, he didn't really change much ever since he was a kid. He was always mad at people and didn't really show much emotions other than that. But I do think his character is more fleshed out than a lot of characters that are on this list, and that's why he's in 5th place. Now, 4th place, we have Edward. And Edward is, in my opinion, what the definition of a funny assassin would be, more like a comedic assassin. Edward isn't necessarily like too funny, and he's not like taking things, I guess, lightheartedly. He is serious when it needs to be serious, and he is a very good character because he comes to understand the assassins and becomes a part of them, even though he was just some random pirate at the beginning of the game who was trying to make money for himself and his family and gain glory. And he grows into such a great person, and his character development is one of, if not the best, of the entire series, besides Ezio, because Ezio has 3 games, obviously, and Edward only has 1, so he will have less development. But I think Edward is a very good character, and Black Flag is one of the best games. Alright, coming up in 3rd place, we have Altair from Assassin's Creed 1, obviously, and also, was he in Brotherhood? I think, and Revelations. So, yeah, Altair, I think his character is the second best in the series in terms of what an assassin should strive to be, because you have Edward, and you have Connor, and all of these people who were just, like, I guess, invited into the assassins, but Altair is like the only character in the entire series that was from like the OG assassins before anything started going crazy and they changed their morals and things, because Altair was the person that made the assassins what they are in the series. So I think Altair, along with Ezio, are the 2 most assassin-like people in terms of their morals and such. Some people might say Bayek, because he was the one who started the Hidden Ones, which became the Assassins, but I don't think the ideas of the Assassins were fully there yet in his time. They were partially there. It was like you were writing a rough draft for a constitution, I guess, but Altair's the one who made the actual Constitution what it is. So that is my ranking for Altair. I think he's a great character, voice actor's great, character arc is amazing, and that's why he's 3rd place. Now, 2nd place, we have Bayek, and I mostly have Bayek here, not necessarily because of the story, because Origins' story is pretty good until the end, to where I believe they had to change writers, and things got kind of sloppy, but I think Bayek, as a character himself, and his voice actor, oh my gosh, I forgot his name already, but his voice actor is amazing. The best voice actor probably of the entire series. That might be kind of controversial because a lot of people like Ezio's voice actor, but I do love the voice actor for Bayek. He plays him so well, and from the very first scene of the game where he takes the mask with the knife in it and he sticks it in his face, dude, that is so good. That is so good. I got chills. And then when he screams Shadia's name throughout the game, whenever that quest happens, it's just amazing. I think his voice actor is probably the best of the series, and his character arc is also pretty good because it tells his story of like him losing his child and him coping with that and learning how to deal with his relationship with Aya, and in the end he ends up, at the very end of the game, he ends up helping a child go back home by taking them instead of telling them to just go, like what happened with his son Kamut, who ends up dying. So I think that is very, very good. I get chills so much just by listening to his voice, and that is why Bayek is second place. First place, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious because it's the only one left, and I've talked about him quite a bit throughout this entire video itself, but that is Ezio, Auditore da Firenze. Yes, Ezio. I have him there. It's pretty clear as to why. He has 3 games that he's in, and his character arc is the best of the series because he has those 3 games, and he's able to portray what an assassin is supposed to be and what an assassin is supposed to strive to do, because he ends up obviously becoming the mentor of the assassins, and he ends up being probably one of the most skilled, I'd say, and his entire life involves him being an assassin versus others. It's really just, oh, I'm a 20-year-old who gets put into being an assassin, but for him, his dad was an assassin. Sure, he didn't really know much about it until he was like 20, but his family was still a part of it for a long time, so I think Ezio as a character has one of the best voice actors, and him in terms of his character arc to where he grows from some stubborn, naive, selfish 20-year-old who wants to just hang out with every girl in the entire world, I guess, to being somebody that is righteous and stands up for others and helps defeat corruption and ends up going to be an old man and live his life to the fullest, really, helping secure peace and freedom for people throughout the entire Mediterranean. So I think it's very, very good, his character, and I don't really see anybody beating him in the near future unless there's sequels for characters to where they can super develop them. But I don't think that Aver will ever beat Ezio just because Aver has those, honestly, it's because Aver has the male and the female version that you can choose instead of one set character with one set direction in the voice acting to where there's not like choices you can make. It's a very linear story. And I think they would just have to go back to the old ways to where they have a linear story without dialogue choices with one character, whether it is male, whether it's female, whether they don't identify as either, whatever it happens to be. I think that they need to do that in order to get a character that will beat Ezio. But as of now, Ezio is the king. So, thank you for watching. Tell me your top 10, 11, whatever it is, top 11 below. Please subscribe. If you watched to here, click the button. What are you doing? Seriously, what are you doing? But anyways, leave a like, subscribe, comment your ranking. I want to know. I really want to know below. And I am planning on doing a stream if it will go through. I'm not positive if it will fully happen, but I'm making plans for it to be doing a live stream of every single Assassin's Creed game. I'm not doing the DLCs because screw that. I'm just doing the main games. And I'm planning on doing that sometime in like mid-July if I'm going to be able to do that. So look out for that. I'll probably be talking about it more in the future. I'm just trying to make rough ideas for it. And like I said, like, subscribe, comment. Yep. I'll see you.